Remember these? Not Double Dragon, NES cartridges. Remember constantly fumbling with them and blowing into them in an attempt to get them to work?
Noggin. Oh yeah.
It made sense when we were kids. Blowing into them got all the dust out, because there was obviously spoonfuls of dust in them.
But did blowing in these actually do anything? The way these cartridge games worked is pretty much the same as the graphics card in your PC, except instead of graphics, it's the full game.
Each of these metal pins corresponds with another pin on the inside of the console. If they were shifted a bit, or if there was a buildup of residue, they simply wouldn't connect.
NES cartridges use copper pins. Copper, when exposed to air long enough, tends to develop patina, a film that can block the connection.
After about 15 years of no use or cleaning. But that didn't stop us from constantly blowing into these and using cleaning solvents.
All this cleaning actually, over time, breaks down the connecty bits and promotes the development of patina.
Which breaks down that connection.
But it's not entirely your fault. It's also the console designer's fault. Many cartridge-based consoles, like the NES, used nickel pins on springs that would push and slide the cartridge pins into place, bending the nickel pins back. On top of this, the springs push the nickel pins into the cartridge for a better connection.
But over time, those springs would weaken and may not press against the cart fully. So all of these factors of aging and use were the real culprits behind these NES cartridges not working. It had nothing to do with all the dust inside. So we blew into them. Again and again and again.
And if you had saliva at your breath, it would only help, because as we all know, water helps electricity.
But what does Nintendo know? I mean, every time I blew it and it worked. You gotta blow on it 4-7 times. As long as you keep trying it and keep putting it back in, it works.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but you were doing nothing good. It was merely the taking it out and putting it back in that was doing all the work. Eventually, you just happened to get that good connection. Blowing into them with a mouthful of saliva makes the connections rust even faster. We only thought it worked as a placebo. We heard about it working, we tried it, and it eventually worked too. When really, it was just that compared to previous cartridge systems, the NES wasn't built the best and had plenty of normal connection issues, even when dust-free.
A man named Frank Petrello did a month-long study. He found 2 NES cartridges with nearly identical quality connectors. He then decided to blow into one and not the other. After a month, the blown one was lighter because of patina. And that white gunk? That's mold, from the moisture in his breath. Ew!
So in the short run, blowing into it might have helped it a tad, but in the long run, you were throwing it away. That's gonna die. It didn't even solve the real problem. The real problem was the connection, and here's a secret. If you push the cart down in the NES, then stick another cart on top of it and press that down just a little bit more, it will push the cart into the connector pins. This method is much better than blowing into them, and much, much better than licking them. Stay awesome.